everyone. Sorry about that. Welcome to tonight's live. I am your host, Tanya, or TitaniumBuilt. It's good to see everybody. So I'm doing things a little differently tonight. I'm doing YouTube live and I'm doing Facebook live, which I've never done a Facebook live on my channel before, on my YouTube channel. So this is something new. So we'll see how it goes. So let me start my camera here. I had to hurry up and jump up and grab some water, so that's why I was a little late getting on the camera. So if you guys were like, oh, where's Sonia? That's where I was at. I did see in the chat before we get started with tonight, Teresa, are you okay? I didn't get an answer. She fell off her bicycle. She's like one of our mods, and she fell off her bike. She's at the hospital. You're a nurse. You're an ex-nurse. You should know if your arm's broken, honey. Is it dangling or, ugh. But, I mean, is it out of the bone, out of the skin, or is it just real swollen? Hopefully it's just a real bad sprain. Oh, man. Well, Teresa, you got the night off. Oh, no. I hope she's okay. Isabel's still up. I saw her this morning bright and early. We were up bright and early. So if you missed it, this morning's live, we did a live this morning at 9:30. I'm usually 15-minute after kind of gal, but it was fun. It was a small group, but we had fun. I thought maybe we would have more of our older crowd, different crowd in there, but we really didn't. So, I mean, we can kind of just keep the lives at our regular time. But I think I am going to do some morning lives though, just because Isabel lives so far away and I like for her to be refreshed. She's probably half asleep right now. I would be out of it. I'd be tired. She lives in Scotland, by the way. I think I say that on every live or every other live. I say where you live. I just think it's really cool. I'd love to live there. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing the like button. If you don't want to smash the like button for me, smash it for Teresa tonight. Because we all love Teresa. She keeps us, she keeps the chat, running smooth. And I love that. I don't see Summer, so she must be packing tonight for her trip. She's going to do some stuff for her hair, like a hair convention. It's going to be really exciting for her. I think she's going to Disneyland or something. That would be fun. So if you guys wouldn't mind hitting, the like button. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel and you love true crime, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I got a lot to show you guys tonight, so we'll go ahead and get right into it. We can do an open panel tonight. I don't mind doing an open panel. We can kind of just talk as we're going through the videos. So I'll drop the link throughout the live if you guys want to come up and just say your piece about everything, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's see. If you want to become a member, I'll drop the link in the chat. If you don't have your allowing gifts on, make sure that you do, because we do gift memberships pretty frequently here. I gifted, I think 10 in 2 days or something, just because I was feeling generous. I don't know. I was like, I'm going to give some memberships. So we were having fun the other day. So let's see. Oh, I wanted to tell you guys also about my candles back here. So I don't know if you see my little candle burning. I try to put more of a light on it so you can kind of see the candle, but you can't. So this is just going to take a minute and then we'll get right into Idaho 4. But I just wanted to show you guys well, it's back there, so, and it's burning, or I would pick it up because it's probably hot. But next time I'm on the live, I'll bring one closer to the camera for you. But they're 10-ounce candles. I've had a few people message me on my shop page, so I just kind of figured I would let you guys all know as a group if anyone wanted to buy any of these candles. They are available in my shop. I may showcase something from my shop over here every once in a while. My boutique name, I'll put the banner up really quick. That way you guys can get the 20% off as well. But my boutique name is Poppy and Ari. It's my passion, my other passion other than YouTube. And I just want to share it with you guys because you guys are my people. So if you, love candles, these are the best. We have them in Refresh, Optimism, Strength, Tranquility are the names of the candles. And the scents are orange peel, cinnamon, ginger, cypress, clove, pine, and fir. They smell so good. You will not be disappointed. They're soy waxed, hand poured, 100 plus hours of burn time. And it comes with a rustic lid or a black lid, whichever you prefer. So figured I would show you guys that little candle there. That one's the Refresh, but they all smell they all have the same scent. They just have different names. But yeah, so we could even time it. lit that one at 8:15 tonight, so we could always, we usually do like a 2 hour live or something, so we could always time it and see if it lasts the whole 100 hours, which it will, because we've actually tested it when we caught him. Me and Vincent did, or Vincent and I. And I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. You guys are awesome. Well, yeah, you can come up and talk if you like, Kev Bound tonight. He said Brian's innocent. We do have some people that are switching gears. So, we definitely do. It's actually one of the questions I had down to do a poll. So maybe we should just do a poll here in a minute. There's Eddie. I was wondering where you were, Eddie, because you're here all the time. And I love you for that. I love it. And I love everybody else. You guys are always here. I love that. I'm also on Facebook Live, like I said. So I'm not like really in the chat because I'm not sure how to chat. So maybe they'll come over to YouTube or something. Maybe they can give me some hearts or something to let me know that they're there. I've never done this before on both, so. How can anyone decide without the trial first? Yes. Oh, I love everybody's ideas. Hey, Legendary. Jan, what'd Jan do? Oh, Jan gifted a membership. Oh, that's so nice. Sorry, I have to show some of the comments on this side. I've got an iPad on this side. Okay, so I've got, wrong way. iPod over here for Facebook, and then I got my camera. I've got stuff everywhere. And then I've got you guys over here, so. Let me put my shop link in the chat too for you guys really quick, and then we'll get right into everything that we're going to discuss tonight. Thank you guys for putting up with me and letting me put my store stuff in here. I appreciate it. I've had a lot of questions, and particularly about the candles, and some sizing on clothes. But if you have any questions, just let me know also. I can always answer them for you. And I do have a Facebook shop as well, so. It has more items on that one because I have some consignment. Okay. So there you go. There we all go. And also, if you use the code YouTube capitalized 20, you'll get 20% off on your total. Somebody just got a dress the other day and they got it for like $20. I was like, that's a good deal. I was like, that's a real good deal. So I'll go ahead and change my banner now since we're getting into the case. We are discussing the Idaho 4 tonight. Let me get my notes up here. So we have been discussing the Idaho 4 case since November the 13th, as a lot of you know. I think everyone knows. But if you are new to this case, since I'm doing it on Facebook Live, I have a whole playlist over on YouTube that can get you all caught up. But the summary of it is 4 students were killed while they slept in their off-campus home, with the exception of Ethan, who was staying with his girlfriend Xana that night. Like I said, on November 13th, the victims that evening were Kaylee Gonzalez, age 21, Madison Mogan, age 21, Xana Kernodle, age 20, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, age 20. Bryan Kohberger is the suspect who has been arrested and charged with their murders and 1 count of burglary. So 4 counts of first-degree murder, 1 count burglary. And he is scheduled to go back to his preliminary hearing on, which is scheduled for June 26th, which we're all excited about. I am excited about that. There's Miss Summer. Did you pack? I figured you might be packing. You didn't hear. So you're just now coming in. Teresa fell off her bicycle. She's at the hospital. She might have broke her arm. How's she going to keep up with all these cases? I'm going to have to go down there and take care of her. Send me down. Okay. So Bryan Kohberger, he's, the suspect that's been arrested. He's got, the officers, they've collected DNA. They've collected his phone records. They have DNA of his at the scene on a knife sheath that they found. So the evidence is there, but you never know. You never know. So What we're going to do, what I want to start doing is just kind of go through comments from the previous live that we did, like on the last Idaho 4 case, like, so it won't be like on the last live that we did. It'll be on the last, like, actual, case that we covered. And if I showcase like your comment or I talk about your comment, just email me at titaniumbuiltboo@gmail.com and we'll figure out something to give you. Because I think it's a cute idea. I see someone else that does it and I thought it was cute, and we get some really cool comments. You guys leave some really like insightful things, or some of y'all leave some crazy things. Not any of you, but some people leave some crazy comments. Summer sees them. She's always in the comment section with me. So let's see here. Did I pull it up? Oh, that's right here. So basically, the comment that I wanted to showcase tonight, it is from D. Dobson, and it was from 14 hours ago, and it's from the Idaho 4, and the thumbnail says, "What the hell is going on? Will Bryan walk?" And she wrote, reportedly, and let me know if you guys have heard this because this is new. This is new stuff that just came out today, I believe. Reportedly, Bethany stated she saw a nude man running out the sliding door. One of the many things she saw and heard. So have you guys heard of the naked running man? The running man naked? Oh, thank you, Joanna, for the super sticker. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I really appreciate that so much. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you. We're cray-cray. TLC, but we are cray-cray. We need to make sure that our girl Teresa's okay. Her and her oh dears. That's probably what she said when she fell off her bike. No, she probably said the duck word. If you know, you know. So, okay, so, yeah, I don't believe it either, Catherine. So, I guess they're saying, man, when something comes out, it's like telephone, like someone will say it, and then by the time it gets to like the third person, it's a completely different story. So, basically, this came out in a paper in the UK called The Mirror. I could tell that it was a UK paper because the 3 creators that I follow from the UK that are true crime all ran with a story, like all ran with this man running out the door naked or whatever. And I'll show you the article too here in just a moment. I can put it up. This is it. So, yeah. So one creator tried to say, I think they were trying to act dumb, I think, and say that it was Daily Mail because they didn't want to admit that it was Mirror, because I've never even heard of this news report before. I've never heard of this this station or whatever this is. Magazine, newspaper, online paper. I've never heard of it. So I don't know. I don't think that it's true, but I'm sure that Banfield's going to run with it. So I figured I would let you all know. And if we're on here tonight when Banfield's on and we see her run with it, we'll we'll play it. Yeah, The Mirror is UK. So the 3 creators that I follow that are true crime from the UK, they all 3 posted a video about this today, and I was just like, what is this? You know what I mean? UK tabloid. I knew it, Kev. I figured. I was going to say it reminds me of The Sun. The way that it's even set up. So I'll show you the part where it says that. I won't read the whole article because it just goes through stuff that we already know. Where was it? I think it was right here. Okay, yeah. So it says, the surviving roommate in the University of Idaho stabbings has begged not to appear at the suspect's hearing. Beg is a big word. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is what I think, first off. I think that it's a preliminary hearing and she's just kind of like, do I have to go? Because I am probably going to have to go to trial. She probably doesn't want to take more than one trip if she doesn't have to. That's what I'm thinking. That's just my personal thoughts on it. But let me know what you guys think. But yeah, so it says here, let me read this to you guys really quick. Sorry. It says Bethany Funke, 21, was at her rental home in Moscow, Idaho, when Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, and Maddie Mogan were stabbed to death on November 13th. Suspect, Bryan Kohberger, a former criminology student, has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and burglary. He faces preliminary hearing in the week of June 26, where prosecutors will begin presenting evidence, with the accused yet to enter a plea, according to authorities. However, one of the 2 survivors, Miss Funk, allegedly heard or witnessed things which could potentially exonerate the suspect. Investigator Richard Benatti, who is working for Ann Taylor, Mr. Kohberger's lawyer, has subpoenaed Miss Funk to appear at the accused killer's hearing on June 28th. And then it says right here, this is where it's really, like, it's in this little small, like, package too. Like, you really have to look for it. According to the affidavit, I've looked through every affidavit. It's not there. That's why it's not listed. According to the affidavit, she allegedly witnessed a naked man running through a rear sliding door. She lived on the first floor of the home and came face to face with the alleged killer. No, she didn't. That was Dylan Mortensen. We'll read a little more. She alleged to have heard or saw things which could clear the suspect. As Mr. Bianotti argued in a crucial, will be a crucial witness. And then, we know the rest. So I figured I would share that to you guys. I don't think it's true, but I figured I'd let you guys know. Hi, Tony. Hello, Tony. We've seen each other all day today, I feel like. We've been on these streets all day. Me and Tony have. Oh, you're welcome, Bridget. Eddie was streaking what? I missed it. Or the National Enquirer, yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. My grandma used to read that. There was a few that she used to read. She still loved them. But she was like, my grandma. It was like celebrity gossip columns and stuff, saying like Liz Taylor died when Liz Taylor didn't die. Back in the day. Exactly. Well, so what they're saying is if there's a naked running man, maybe it was a different guy there. So maybe that person committed these crimes. They're trying to say because there was lack of blood outside on the crime scene, that maybe it could have even been Kohberger and he was naked. Wasn't that the movie Psycho? Let me know that in the comments. On the movie Psycho, did he, was he naked or did he just put tarps up? I remember he was like super clean, remember when he killed or something? She won't want to give evidence, and Faithful said, oh, I love your picture. You're so pretty. Tell BK's case, and she's also probably still traumatized, by it all and wants to stay away. For sure. 1,000,000%. I mean, who the hell wants to go and face him knowing what she knows about him? Being in the house where he allegedly went in and killed 4 of her best, closest friends. That's scary. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near him. I looked it up and I'll let you know the exact, here, I'll probably look on my papers because I was looking it up to see how far it was. But it's like a good 12-hour trip. I'll let you know the exact time when we go through. But yeah, when we go through the notes. But she lives a lot further than I thought. American Psycho, yeah. So was he naked when he killed the people though? I can't remember. 10 hours, Kelsey, Bill said. Yeah, I know it's like from here to Florida, from like where I live. So it's far. No, Bon, I hope not. That's why I'm showing it. I hope not. Better not leave it up too long or people will start thinking that we believe it. Okay, let me grab my drink really quick and we will start going through the next little piece I'm going to read you guys. Before we get to Nancy's new video, I had like all these other videos posted, like little short clips to show you guys tonight. And I like just happened to look, on Fox Nation to see. And she had a video and I was like, well, hot damn. Thanks, Nancy, for coming in clutch. Because we love to hear her talk about stuff. I do anyway, sometimes. So new documents have been released, in the case. So we're going to go over those. The gag order, we're going to go more in depth on our next live. That is 15 pages long, so I think we can make a live of it on its own. Also, Nancy Grace, like I said, came out with a new video, so we'll go over that as well. If you guys are just now joining us, thank you so much for being here. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, subscribing to the channel, we're trying to hit 10,000 Titans here. And if you would like to join our membership, I will post the link in the chat. And I think Summer said she was ready earlier, so that's good, Summer. I'm glad you're ready to go. You have so much fun. Yeah, even if he was naked, he could still leave blood trails. Yeah, I'm still thinking, if anything, maybe he had like Dickies coveralls or some sort of coverall on. And I'm thinking, I mean, if I were to do this and I wanted to change my clothes, maybe one of those little like backpacks that have the small drawstrings on the side where you can barely see. Like if someone was walking with it, you could barely see like the straps. It's not like a big book bag. And he could put things in there, but I don't know. Rayanne said, I'm no longer sure BK did this. At least 2 others assisted. We're hearing this a lot, I feel like. A lot of people are turning. Let me do that. Let me do that poll really quick. I have to go on another screen, sorry. Because that'll be a good poll. Because another creator is actually talking about this today as well. So, let's see. Actually, I'll do the poll here in a minute. That way we can kind of keep going. So basically the prosecution, I'm going to pull this one up here for you. These ones are from April 20th. So the first paper I'm going to show you, or the first document, is petition for appointment of Special Assistant Attorney General. So basically what that is the prosecution is asking for 2 more lawyers to be appointed to their team. They went ahead and they did appoint 2 new assistant general attorneys. Their names are Jeff Nye. Makes me think of Bill Nye every single time I said that name today, or thought of it. Jeff Nye and Ingrid Beatty. So they are going to have a total now of 4 lawyers for this case, for the prosecution side. A lot of people were thinking these 2 lawyers were for the defense side. No, they're not. They have their team. I don't know if they're going to put any more on there. They could, but this is 2 more for the prosecution side. And so they're just 2 more, lawyers they're going to have. I'll go ahead and show you these documents really quick. If you guys ever want to like get on the Idaho site, you could just get on there, type in like, let me see here, idaho.gov. And it should pull it up for you. And it'll show you every document that under Bryan Kohberger's name. So that way y'all have access to those. In case I'm not here to, read it to you. Because I know you love it when I read. So it just says State of Idaho versus Bryan C. Kohberger. Now comes the Latah County Prosecuting Attorney, William W. Thompson Jr., and pursuant to Idaho Code, petitions this court for the appointment of Special Assistant Attorney General. And in support of this request states, I am duly elected Latah County Prosecuting Attorney. I have the duty to prosecute all felony criminal actions committed in Latah County pursuant to Idaho Code. As prosecuting attorney, I petition this court to appoint Duty Attorney General Jeff Nye and Deputy Attorney General Ingrid Beatty as Special Assistant Attorneys General 2 Assistant in the prosecution of State versus Kohberger, and it has the case number there. I seek assistance in this case in order to utilize the expertise and additional resources of the Office of the Attorney General. The Attorney General's office has agreed in writing to assist the Latah County's Prosecuting Attorney's Office in this matter pursuant to the written agreement. The Attorney General's office agreed to pay the salaries of its personnel who assisted in the prosecution. Wonder how much they're getting paid. Just curious. We know that Ann Taylor's getting $200 an hour. Her helper guy is getting $180 an hour. Do prosecutors get more than defense attorneys? I mean, I know they're pro bono, but I'm just wondering in general if one gets more over the other. I'm wondering. I'm just reading your comments. You think Bethany knows who was in the house that night? You think there were others? Oh, wow. So Bryan has, I think, 2 right now. Ann Taylor and I forget the guy's name. Yeah, so 4 attorneys, Ray. Yeah, so I'm one for each victim. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm just saying that. That's not true. I'm just saying that. I don't want people to be like, Tanya said one for each, I was just trying to read through your comments a little bit. And I really don't know how to do the comments over here. So, if anyone knows how to do that, let me know. Me don't know. Scorbellina, you changed your picture. I didn't even see you come in because you changed your picture. Oh, that's it off. Look at you, hot mama. Ooh. I like your dress. It's cute. And your leg tattoo. Wow. Let me read a couple of these. Sorry. Your comments are... You guys always have the best comments. So... Oh, I can actually see something now. Like, on over here. Okay. If somebody like loves it, it'll like actually come up over here on the screen, like for my Facebook. Sorry. You guys are my guinea pigs for the night. Let's just say that. Okay, let's see the next paper here. Okay, so this is the next document here. And it just, let me blow it up for you guys so you can read it if you'd like. State of Idaho versus, Bryan Kohberger. The above matter having come before the court, because so, they were, the last document was the prosecution asking, hey, can we get these 2 prosecutors appointed and their salaries, paid or whatever. And so this is their response. It says the above matter having come before the court upon petition of the Latah County prosecuting attorney and good cause appearing, it is hereby ordered pursuant to and has the codes that Deputy Attorney Jeff Nye and Deputy Attorney General Ingrid Beatty be appointed as Special Assistant Attorney General to assist in the prosecution of this case. I don't know why people were getting this confused and saying it was defense when it says right here prosecution. Like, I don't know. And then it just shows that they did it by email, it looks like. Oh, maybe it's because maybe down here. I don't know. I wonder why they have Jeff Nye listed down here. They got William and they got Ann, but they don't have the other Ingrid or whatever. Or the other guy. I don't know. Maybe they just give it to, Ann because she's the attorney that has her name on all the documents. Which is kind of funny to me that she says that. So do you guys think Ann Taylor's going to be a good attorney for Kohberger as of right now? Because she's asking people to come back, a couple states away to do be for preliminary hearings. She's saying she has the secret sauce that's going to get Bryan off, exonerate, going home June 26th, by 1 p.m. he's going to be out. I personally don't think he's going to be exonerated. That's just me, in my opinion. I think that this is all fluff. My opinion, having to do a victim statement and having to testify myself in a case, you don't want to have to go back there. You don't want to have to put yourself back in that spot. I mean, in the state, in the city, anywhere near it. And if she's already thinking in her head, well, I've got to be there for trial because they are going to call me as a witness. Why do I have to be there for the preliminary hearing? And her lawyer says, you don't. That's stupid. You know what I mean? Maybe her lawyer gave her that idea. Yeah, that's stupid. Why would you even be there? So I don't think that she necessarily is saying all these things. I think people are just, kind of running around with it. And we don't know if they'll air the trial yet. But with the way things are going, I don't know. Hi, sleeper agent. Let me do that. Actually, let me just do that poll really quick. Because you guys got some good stuff going. Like, you guys got some good stuff going. Let's just do a quick poll. We'll do it like while I'll leave it up for a little bit, but I'll do a couple too. That way we can word them differently. Okay. You guys are the best. Let's get off of this and then let's see. Oh, and I'm also thinking that they have 4 lawyers because of the gravity of the case, with having, 4 victims and it being so high profiled. I think they're thinking, the more the merrier in a way. So I do think that. So I want to show you guys, like I like to show you all a little something funny if I can in the beginning of the live, or we'll talk about something funny at the end. We try to like lighten the mood. So I'm going to show you a small news station news station video that came out. I think it was either last night or the night before. And when I heard this segment, I couldn't believe my ears. I'm going to let you guys listen to this. And we'll discuss what Ashley Banfield says after when it's over with. But it's pretty good. Let me see here. In the beginning, they're talking about Lori Vallow, I believe so. But they get right into the Bryan Kohberger. If you guys are just now joining us, thank you guys so much for being here. I really genuinely appreciate y'all. If you guys wouldn't mind smashing the like button, it really sends it out to the algorithm, brings more people in to enjoy the chat. Also, if you'd like to be a channel member, I will post that in the chat in just a moment. Make sure your allow gifts is on because we do love to gift around here.
Alex, I just mentioned to the our viewers who are watching right now that Lori had 18 different phone accounts, but I didn't even mention the burner phones. What's the story on the burner phone? Who has burner phones except for like drug dealers and criminals and me? I have one, but like, what was the burner phone story?
Well, that's what the prosecution will tell you, right? The only people that have burner phones are criminals that are trying to hide their misdeeds or people that are trying to cover up and not let other people that they're associated with know about the things that they're doing. And so it was revealed today that multiple phone accounts existed for Chad, for Lori, for Alex Cox. Now, there were 3 in particular for each that really were doing the brunt of the misgivings and the misdeeds, I would say. But ultimately, what the defense is trying to point out is that just because someone has multiple phones doesn't make them a criminal. Now, of course, as you mentioned, those who have burner phones usually are up to no good. But really, there was a lot of talk today about the phones, about the communications, the side chats. Also, Lori was saving some of these burner phones that were associated to Chad with different names, like she would put him as a bishop in her phone, or Alex Cox had different pseudonyms and aliases on all these different burner phones as well. So a lot of conversation about tracking phones today and about the phone activity that were happening.
Well, I just want to be really clear. I am not a drug dealer or a criminal, but I have a burner phone because I've actually been calling Bryan Kohberger in jail, trying to get him to, consider returning a call. And he hasn't so far. But Alex, you'll be the first to know if Bryan Kohberger calls me back. You and Brian Enton. You can just keep trying. It's what we do. Alex, awesome job. Fantastic. Way to go with the
Are you kidding? Dang it, I was muted. I was just talking up a storm. Okay, sorry about that. Thank y'all for letting me know. Hey, Princess Meg Alice, I was muted, so you didn't miss much right there. Look at everyone laughing at me. Thank you. Everyone's there's everybody. I'm gonna start muting myself more often. Hell yeah. There we go. I wasn't looking over down here. I was looking up here. I'm usually always looking around there. So Banfield just basically was like talking about burner phones. She actually said the only people that own burner phones are criminals, drug dealers, and herself. She's been reaching out to Kohberger on her burner phone. She works for News Nation. So what I was saying was, what is she going to do? Change her shirt like to black and like ninja style it? Because maybe we wouldn't be able to recognize her then. But I'm just like, burner phones. She must want to do it because I think it's more fun that way. More, you know what I mean? Like, she's more into the, like, this, like, weird stuff that they're all into. I don't know. Who's Tucker? Tucker's going to join News Nation. I don't know who Tucker is, Legendary. I'm muted too. Legendary said that's funny. Okay, so let's see what else. So I guess, oh yeah, that's all I want to say. So we're gonna watch the latest Nancy Grace video that came out tonight. She is going to go over Bryan Kohberger's defense team, and they're trying to compel one of the two surviving mass murder victims that was in the Idaho home, which we all know is Bethany, to testify. So, let me see here. Muted myself again almost. Kohberger's attorneys have asked a Nevada court for Bethany Funke to travel to Idaho and testify as a witness for Bryan Kohberger. Bethany does not want to appear, and she is fighting the subpoena through her own lawyer. According to the defense, Bethany has information that could prove Kohberger's innocence. But Bethany's attorneys filed a motion arguing that there is no further information or detail pertaining to the substance of the testimony, its materiality, or the alleged exculpatory information of Ms. Funke, or why it would be entertained at preliminary hearing. So that's their argument. She has no further information or details pertaining to the substance of the testimony that she's already given. Funke's lawyers also argue that Nevada law requires a hearing before the subpoena could be issued. There has been no hearing. And they'll talk about this, and this is what they're going to be talking about in the Nancy Grace episode. Hey, Cat's Life, you just made it in time if you want to watch Nancy. If you don't mind, hit that like button, Cat's Life, which I know you will. As of now, the extent of Funke's testimony and whether it could help Kohberger is not known. So we really don't know what she has to say. But I can see why she wouldn't want to go to the preliminary hearing. I did, when I looked it up, I think it said it was 13 hours, 49 minutes from her town to Moscow. So it is pretty far. Definitely further than I thought. I don't know. I don't know what you guys, how you guys thought, like how you guys felt, but let's see. So we got 14% that says yes. Wish I would have kept my old, like, my old polls. No, no. So 67% of you said no for, do you think Bryan Kohberger's innocent? Not sure, 19%. Wow, that's different. Like before, y'all, it used to be like, I don't know, like 90%, more than 90% guilty. Maybe a little bit not guilty, but. So I'm wondering if it's this new stuff coming out that's persuading people that, I don't know. And there are documents that actually came out tonight as well. And they're short and sweet. And I'll let you know about those after we're done with the Nancy Grace episode. Because it kind of just flows with the way things are going. So this is on Fox Nation. So if anybody in the chat ever wants to watch it, you can pay for the subscription. And you can go to Fox Nation and watch it. You are so right, Catherine. Yep. The ID thing is all speculation. They said may have belonged to someone in the 112 King. Did not say one of the victims. You're right. It could have been his ID. It could have been an ID from another person. It could have been anything really. But it's just so weird that it was inside of a glove, inside of a box. So weird. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start playing this for y'all. If you guys wouldn't mind, because I won't, I'll try not to interrupt it too much. Let me see here. I'm gonna mess with y'all tonight. Okay. Okay, that's good. We got 79 likes, 99 people in here. That's really good. I was gonna really mess with y'all for a minute, but I don't think I will. Because I was gonna make you all like the video. But yeah, everyone like the video, and we'll get started with Nancy, and then I'll stop it here and there so we can talk through it. And I'll be in the chat, and I want to read your guys' chats and stuff too. So I'll be in the chat. Also, I'm so sorry. If you're watching this on Facebook, because y'all know I'm not good with this, I've never done this before, just make sure that you're commenting and you hit the like button and the heart button and all that good stuff. That way I know you're there. 'Cause I don't even know what's going on over there.
Bombshell in the last hours in the case against Bryan Kohberger, charged in the murder of 4 beautiful Idaho University students. We learn that one of the crime victims who survived, roommate Bethany Funke, is fighting tooth and nail a subpoena delivered by the defense, Bryan Kohberger's lawyer, trying to force Funke from her home in Reno all the way back to Moscow, Idaho, to testify for Bryan Kohberger. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Fox Nation and Sirius XM 111. First of all, take a listen to our cut 378, our friends at ABC.
One of 2 survivors of the Idaho College murders fighting back after suspect Bryan Kohberger's legal team subpoenaed her to testify. The survivor's attorney calling the subpoena improper, saying Kohberger's legal team has no authority to summon her for the preliminary hearing. Kohberger is charged with murdering 4 of her friends in the early morning hours of November 13th. The victims found on the 2nd and 3rd floor of the home, while she was on the 1st. And now, in court documents, Kohberger's team claiming the survivor may be a material witness for his case and could possibly provide exculpatory information.
I've never heard a bigger crock of BS in my life. That's a technical legal term. Joining me an all-star panel, but first, let's go to Dale Carson, high-profile lawyer out of Jacksonville, former FBI agent. Dale Carson, this is total BS, because this is a preliminary hearing that's going to be held June 26. It is not a jury trial. Therefore, this is just the state putting up a bare bones case. The defense doesn't even have to reply. This is a fishing expedition to force Bethany out of home, away from home, and back to Idaho. It's actually legal terrorism on the crime victim.
Well, that's exactly right, Nancy. A preliminary hearing is used typically by the defense to learn what cards the state is holding. And it's a mechanism for doing that. And oddly enough, in Idaho, there is a grand jury that can simply indict him, and yet they have allowed this preliminary hearing to proceed. And to try to bring somebody from one state to another is, well, it's against the U.S. Constitution, but there is a uniform act that allows this transfer. But when that transfer occurs, in other words, to bring somebody from another state to this state in a criminal matter, it doesn't cover preliminary hearings. And more importantly, if you're going to do that, you have to explain to the court, the state court where she lives, why you got to have that witness come to a court in Idaho. And that requires explicit information, not just, I believe it will be something that will provide evidence for my client.
Guys, we are talking about the latest legal bombshell in the case of the 4 students murdered in Idaho. At this hour, the state is still amassing evidence against prime suspect and defendant Bryan Kohberger. He has yet to enter a plea. Again, with me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. Straight out to Caitlin Becker, senior investigative reporter for DailyMail.com. Caitlin, explain what's happening right now. Why is the defense terrorizing one of the surviving victims? They keep saying she has material information that could exonerate Kohberger, but the reality is her police report is still under seal. Nobody knows what her report says. It was Dylan Mortensen that says she saw this figure clad in black wearing a face mask, not Bethany Funke. So they don't even know what her police report says. Yeah, they're trying to oust her from her family home and make her drive 11 hours to testify in Kohberger's defense at a preliminary hearing where the defense doesn't even put up a case?
That's exactly right, Nancy. And up until this point, because as you said, Bethany's police report is still under seal, so I don't believe Kohberger's team. I have no idea if they've even seen it. But what his attorney said in the paperwork for the subpoena is, like you said, they believe she has material information that could be potentially exculpatory. They specifically want her to testify about what she saw and heard that night and insinuate that this could potentially clear his name. Now, up until this point, we have all believed that Bethany was found asleep and slept through the whole ordeal. So the only thing that I can speculate is that maybe Bryan Kohberger himself knows something that she knows from that night, which puts him, in my mind, at the scene of the crime. So I don't know how that would help him.
At the very best, she may be able to corroborate something Dylan Mortensen told her, which would be hearsay and disallowable in court. By all accounts, we believe this surviving witness slept through the entire murder. Guys, what's happening? Take a listen to our cut 392, our friends at Live Now from Fox.
It sounds like the defense believes that the surviving roommate has information which tends to exculpate or indicate that perhaps Kohberger is not the correct suspect. And they want to call him to have the judge evaluate this testimony in consideration for how the case should move forward. I'm not sure there's any real legal way that she can prevent the defense from subpoenaing her and calling her as a witness. It may be that the court instead takes steps to protect what she has to say and her face during the testimony.
That's completely backwards. That is true for a jury trial. That is not true for a preliminary hearing. Let me explain. A preliminary hearing is very simply a bare bones hearing where the state, the prosecution, puts up just enough evidence for the judge to say, oh, you know what? There's a question of fact. DNA was found at the scene on a knife sheath. It matches Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger has pled not guilty, so that's a question of fact. Is the DNA?
I promise this is probably like the only time I'm going to interrupt her, but I disagree with her when she says this part. I believe, and I believe this wholeheartedly, even though everyone knows my opinion on this case, and I do believe they have the right person, but if Bethany knows of something or she has evidence that insinuates that Bryan is not guilty of this crime, then she should definitely have to do whatever it takes to give that, you know what I mean, to give that over to the defense. I believe that. I believe if he's innocent, then he shouldn't be sitting in jail right now. But if he's half innocent, like a lot of people are saying he had help, which I don't believe that he did, but a lot of people, you know, believe he had help, then he's, you know, I mean, he's still guilty. He's still guilty. He's still in the right spot. So, but I did want to say that I did disagree with Nancy on that one because, you know, they get, you know, the discovery, they get all of the, anything they give the prosecution, the, you know, the defense gets. And if she does have something or knows something, she should say something. Even if she's afraid because of all, you know what I mean, all the evidence. Maybe that's what it is. And she's like, what if, you know, this is the right guy and then I get him off? But she can't think that way either. So.
Real? Has it been contaminated? Is Kohberger not guilty? That's a question for a jury. Therefore, I will send this on to Superior Court and there will be a jury trial. That's what a preliminary is. It can be replaced in some jurisdictions, not necessarily Idaho, with a grand jury where the defense is not even present. It's just a charging mechanism. This is not a finding of guilt or innocence. And let me go straight out to Cheryl McCollum, director and founder of the Cold Case Research Institute and star of a hit podcast, Zone 7. Cheryl McCollum, I've dealt with so many crime victims. Do you know what it does to them to have to testify and face the defendant on the stand?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. How do you invoke reasonable doubt to the court of public opinion before a trial or before you call your first witness? They just did it. This is a stunt. This is an absolute risky move on their part, and I think it's going to blow up in their face.
Well, I've got the motion right here in front of me, and the first thing I'd like to point out is that it is full of errors. They can't even spell the victim's name correctly. Throughout, they misspell her name. So that's not giving me a whole lot of confidence in the defense attorney. And not only that, back to you, Dale Carson. Dale Carson is joining us, defense attorney out of Jacksonville. Dale, they can't even spell the victim's name correctly, number one. Number two, in order to make a subpoena like this work, it's an out-of-jurisdiction subpoena, you have to go through a process called domestication. The Idaho judge has to send the subpoena or allow it to be sent to Reno, Nevada. There has to be a hearing to prove Bethany Funke has material witness testimony. None of that has been done. Also, Dale Carson, I've researched the law in both Idaho and Nevada. There is no legal precedent to support a witness in a criminal matter returning all the way to another jurisdiction for a preliminary hearing, not a jury trial, for the defense. That's not a thing.
No, you're absolutely right. And you know, it is unbelievable to me, frankly, that probable cause was already determined when the arrest warrant was issued for Kohberger. That's the probable cause warrant. And he was arrested. And now we're having another probable cause hearing. I don't understand the system that would allow that when a grand jury can secretly indict him and avoid all of this. And it's not a choice that the defense can make. And they were supposed to make it candidly within 14 days. And that didn't happen. So something's going on here. And it's an effort, as Magic Cheryl says, to divert attention from the realities. And the realities are that DNA is connected with the crime. It demonstrates conclusively, in my mind, that he was certainly there and likely participated in it, given all the other factors, his effort to flee, his effort to hide evidence, to clean his car, to do all of those things are consistent with someone who's guilty of the crime.
I want to go to Chris McDonough, guys, director of the Cold Case Foundation, former homicide detective, host of a YouTube channel, The Interview Room. Chris McDonough, you have been over and over and over all accessible areas of the scene. This is a stunt. This is a stunt to terrorize and torture one of the remaining surviving victims from that night. You understand the bloody, horrific crime scene left behind, and now this, tormenting a crime victim and doing it through legal means. I don't know that much about this lawyer. I've got a brief right here. Ann C. Taylor, public defender. I understood she was representing family of one of the victims and then dumped them to represent Bryan Kohberger. I guess it was more money and more PR for her. But that said, her motion, she can't even spell the victim's name correct. correctly. And this is a stunt to terrorize this victim. What do you make of it after what you know of that crime scene?
1,000% that this is a stunt, Nancy. And I agree with Dale and Cheryl that this is trying to pull a legal maneuver to try this case in the court of public opinion. And I find it really interesting now that there have been 2 motions utilized to, put this conversation into the public's ear around the gag order. So I also think this is a slap in the face to the judge by trying to pull this type of
Well, the judge
publicity
signed
stunt.
it. The judge signed it. So that makes me question the judge as well, because the hearing that was required under the law was not held. Here is the order that the judge signed. Let's see, the judge is Megan. What's the judge's name? Caitlin Becker. I've got it right here in this mound of information. She didn't just receive it. She signed off on the subpoena to force Bethany Funke back to the scene to testify for the defense. And I'm stunned. What more do we know, Caitlin Becker?
Well, we know that Bethany Funke and her attorneys don't want to do this. They've already filed a motion.
Megan
to
Marshall.
quash
That's the
subpoena.
judge's name. Megan Marshall. I wonder how long she's been on the bench. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Caitlin.
No problem. We know that Bethany's own attorneys are trying to fight this based on essentially a lot of the things that you guys have already said. They're trying to quash this. And
Hey, you just said
that
something really important, Caitlin Becker from Daily Mail, and thank you. Her own attorneys. She had to go out and pay good money, probably a lot of money, to a lawyer to fight this subpoena, this out-of-state subpoena. I'm thinking through everything. Dr. Michelle Dupree, forensic pathologist, medical examiner, lucky for us, detective, author of Homicide Investigation Field Guide. Dr. Dupree, let's think this through. Let's go back to the early morning that Bethany Funke and Dylan Mortensen wake up. Everything's quiet in the house. Somebody's been calling and they can't get a hold of the roommates. So I assume that Bethany and Dylan went out and tried to get the roommates, and they come upon the crime scene. 4 roommates repeatedly stabbed, and they see their friends dead. They are probably dealing with survivor's guilt, which I'm going to address with Dr. Joni Johnston. But explain, Dr. Dupree, what these 2 girls very likely woke up to that morning.
Nancy, a stabbing or sharp force injury crime scene is always very traumatic and very bloody. And I'm sure that this was a terrifying event, finding their friend, someone that they knew so closely, in this kind of a state. It would have been devastating.
Can you describe the wounds that these 4 victims suffered, these young, beautiful University of Idaho victims?
Yes, most of them were stab wounds. There were some what we call slash wounds. One of the victims, I believe, had defensive wounds even. And again, sharp force injuries are painful. There is a lot of blood. It just would have been a horrific scene to walk in on for anybody. I think even the investigators, had talked about what a horrific scene this was. And so to find someone you know and friends, it just would have been devastating to these young adults.
Chris McDonough and Dale Carson, Cheryl McCollum also, I want you to weigh in on how different a murder scene is in real life than it is on TV, even slasher movies. It's, Cheryl McCollum, you and I have been to a lot of homicide scenes together. And I have seen grown men walk outside and vomit. And that's after a shooting, a single shot murder, much less where 4 young people that these 2 witnesses know intimately, they're very dear friends, they live together, go in and they have been slashed dead, multiple stab wounds. Explain, Cheryl, how different in real life is it from what people are conditioned to believe from movies and TV?
Well, let's just talk facts. Eyewitnesses oftentimes get critical things wrong because of the trauma, the shock, the just denial of what is actually occurring. So when you combine all of those things, just massive fear, all of us have experienced, even in a fleeting second, being so scared. We like in your home and somebody pops up you didn't know was there and kind of scares you for a split second, your whole body reacts. Your entire body just jerks away of what you think could be danger. What they experienced in that moment, Nancy, is so unbelievable. I don't know that they have processed it completely now. And that's why I'm telling you, you can call Ms. Funk if you want to. But if she were my client, it'd be the biggest mistake you ever made if I was a lawyer.
You are darn right. In the famous words we've heard so many times, be careful what you ask, my dear, for you will surely get it. I think the defense is banking on the fact they believe that Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funke not only saw the killer, but cannot identify Bryan Kohberger as the killer. The first thing I would do when that happened, as the prosecutor, would have him stand up and walk in front of the jury and stand up and turn to the side, approach the victim on the stand and let her say, yeah, that's about the right size, that's the right size, those are the right eyebrows, that's the right hair, that's the right skin tone. Yeah, that looks like him. Of course, he had on a face mask, but he fits the description of the killer. Oh, man, I would put it right up their tailpipe.
And you asked about the crime scene.
Is this Dale Carson? Go ahead.
It is. The evisceration of an individual victim is substantial. There's a smell in the air that you can never shake out of your head later. And you remember it years and years later. And there's blood everywhere on the floor. You end up walking in it in order to check the victim to determine whether or not they're still alive. And people don't see dead bodies regularly, not in that condition. So there's a process of denial you go through. You think you might be in a dream to see that. And victims often report the fact that they are physically ill after they see things like that. And this isn't one victim. This is 4 victims. So you have a magnification exponentially of the pain and suffering. And remember this, really important for the jury, these individuals in evisceration killings, they suffer. There's a pain, it's dark. Suddenly someone comes out of the dark and does this, you're stunned. All of those factors indicate that it's a cruel killing, which in Florida at least adds to the impact of the charge against someone. So he's going to get charged as seriously, and when the jury hears how he affected the killings, it's going to magnify his sentence.
You know, Chris McDonough, I told this story yesterday, and I don't like telling it because it's painful, but I did not want to see my fiance in the casket. I didn't want to remember him that way. And of course, they had done all they could to cover up the bullet wounds to his head, his neck, and his back. But at a distance, when I first walked into the funeral home, instinct made me look into the area where Keith's body was at the front of the chapel. And I only saw a sliver, a profile of his face above the casket edge, and I passed out. I remember it like it was yesterday, and I don't like remembering it. So I can only imagine, Chris McDonough, what these 2 girls saw when they saw their friends stabbed multiple times, sliced, stabbed, dead from bleeding out. The smell hanging in the air, it's awful. the blood now sticky on the floor. I mean, that's something you never forget. And there's nothing else like seeing and smelling that, Chris McDonough.
Nancy, I mean, your comments alone are so powerful to listen to. And it's one of these events where all of us in this panel this morning discussing this always remembers that moment where you get the information overload, right? And everything slows down. It's almost as if you're living in the twilight zone for a little bit. And now superimpose that on a child who's a young girl who's at college and going up those stairs and running into, all of this mass evil, the behavior that they're witnessing, the cast off from the knife, the victims may or may not, positioning in certain places and thinking to themselves, where am I? What am I? And I can assure you, because I've been in that scenario so many times, the worst part of homicide investigation is that initial observation of that crime scene. And we heard it from the chief of the Moscow officers that were first on scene. They were seeking counseling post that witnessing.
Speaking of what victims, by the way, you're completely right, to both of you, Dale and Chris, and also Cheryl, of course. Guys, I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth. I want you to hear our friend, our colleague, Mark Klass, victims' rights crusader, after the kidnap, rape, and murder of his little girl, Polly. He has devoted his life to finding missing children and solving unsolved homicides. Take a listen to our cut 389.
This is a young lady, and I'm sure she's a resilient young lady, and this will obviously be a setback to her, psychologically and spiritually. There's no question about that. However, with the right moves, she should be able to recover her life. And when I say the right moves, I'm suggesting that she probably could use some expert counseling. And the trick there is finding the right person or a counselor, the person that's had the experience in this type of situation, the person that knows the right moves, and the person that can help move her from being a traumatized victim who's been asked to turn on her friends to the productive and positive thinking individual that she was before this whole horrendous affair started.
And more from Mark Klass in our cut 391.
Yesterday, I spoke to one of the girls that was with Polly when she was kidnapped, because she was in a very similar type of a situation. She had to testify as a child in the courtroom where the killer was sitting. And she said that it was really just kind of an odd situation, that she didn't want to look at him, but she did want to see him. So she kept stealing glances at him as she was testifying, and that in the final analysis, she said he was looking down the entire time. So whereas this guy is able to come into a room and terrorize little girls, once he's surrounded in a different kind of a situation, once it's in a different kind of a situation, a courtroom situation, he didn't even have the ability to look up at the little girl who was so courageously testifying in his presence against him.
I had the same experience when I came off the witness stand in my fiancé Keith's murder trial. I walked past the defense attorney's table and they all looked down, and then I looked at the defendant, who also looked down. Actually, I looked at him first. They couldn't even look up at me. I want to go to a special guest joining us, Dr. Joni Johnston, forensic psychologist. Also, she's the author of Serial Killers, 101 Questions True Crime Fans Ask. And you can find her at drjonijohnson.com. Dr. Joni, thank you for being with us. Question to you.
Happy to.
What is survivor's guilt?
Survivor's guilt is kind of an irrational feeling, and I say irrational because it almost invariably happens when somebody has no control over a situation and survives something that a friend or a loved one didn't. And there's just this constant sense of guilt and second guessing and pain around, why did I get to survive? Why did my friend or my loved one not? Why didn't I help? Why couldn't I do something? Why didn't I do something? And it can be very, very, complicating in terms of getting past that. In addition to the trauma of all the things you've described and your other panel members have described, just coming on a scene like that. So it just can be so complicating.
And you know what else, Dr. Joni Johnston, and it's Johnston with a T. Dr. Joni, these feelings follow you for the rest of your life. Now, I agree with everything Mark Class said about getting counseling for this girl, Bethany Funke, and roommate Dylan Mortensen. But the truth is, and let me know when I get Cheryl McCollum back because she can vouch for this. The truth is that as a crime victim, you are haunted from that point forward. It really changes who you are. I've had people tell me, which I don't understand, that my personality before case murder is entirely different than what it is now. I don't know what they're talking about, but it changes you.
I do want to say that this is actually, I believe this is true for Nancy, about Nancy Grace, because I remember when I was growing up watching Nancy Grace, and my mom, I've told you guys this before in the chat, my mom used to hate Nancy Grace until she didn't like Nancy Grace until she had her twins, around the time she had her twins. So that would have been right after her fiance's death. So I think something did change in Nancy. So let me go ahead and get back to this, and I'll be in the chat. Thank you guys also for being here. I appreciate you all. If you guys would take a second to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel and you love true crime, that's what we're here to do every evening. 8:15, we're usually here live. And I do pre-recorded videos for y'all as well, so.
Changes the way you see the world, Doctor.
I completely agree with you, Nancy. There is no way anyone who goes through an experience like you've gone through or these young surviving women have gone through who are going to be the same. It is a life-changing event. It doesn't mean your life is over, that you can't be happy again, that you can't be a productive member of society, that you can't find a way to use all that pain for good, but they are not going to be the same young women they were before that.
Cheryl McCollum is with me, Cold Case Research Institute founder and director. You can find her at coldcasecrimes.org or on her brand new podcast, Zone 7. Cheryl, we have both dealt with so many violent crime victims and what they go through in the aftermath of the crime, if they live to tell it. And these two girls, remember, Cheryl, they kept the fact that Dylan Mortensen had actually seen the killer a secret. Cops did for so long until they could arrest Kohberger and put him in jail so he would not be tempted to come back and murder her and Bethany Funke. That's what we're talking about. And now they want this girl in some ridiculous PR stunt for some fishing expedition to find out what she may or may not know, to come all the way back essentially to the scene of the crime?
I think about Dylan a lot, and that first statement that she made when she said she thought what she was hearing was Kaylee playing with her dog Murphy. And then afterwards, she had the realization of what she was actually hearing were her friends being murdered. She heard it. She will never get that out of her head. And Nancy, not only is this stunt going to blow up in their face, they have not counted on mamas and daddies and friends. Those are the jurors that they are now, I think, ticking off before they've ever been slated to see it. And when you think of just this instinct to protect, once you're a mama, everything else goes out the window. And I was in the grocery store the other day, and I heard this little voice call for mama, mama. Now, as you know, I've got two 20-somethings now that are my children, but I looked almost instinctively, like, who needs me? Who needs help? That wasn't my child, but I couldn't help
Cheryl,
myself.
I'm telling you, I had to fly to Corpus Christi the other day to speak, to help support a women's shelter at a group called Purple Door. There was a child on the plane, and this screaming and all, that doesn't bother me at all on a plane, because I empathize with those parents. Every time that child cried, literally my skin, it crawled, because I felt that you felt an instinct to go help the baby.
Right. And that's what I'm talking about. We have an instinct to protect Dylan and Bethany, period.
You know, another
this is
thing,
the worst move.
And let me throw this to Caitlin Becker. Oh, Caitlin, I want to circle back to you about the two surviving victims getting those tattoos in honor of the 4 slain students. Dr. Joni Johnson joining me, forensic psychologist. It's not just the survivor's guilt in the sense that I lived and they didn't, but also apparently Dylan Mortensen heard. She didn't realize what she was hearing, but heard the murders, and she saw who I believe to be Kohberger. At the time, 4 o'clock in the morning, she probably had a couple of drinks. She's like, oh, whatever, and went back to sleep. More guilt. She didn't know what had happened. She didn't understand that she should call 911 immediately. But that's going to go with her. That sack of rocks on her back. From now on, what if I had called earlier? Could I have saved their lives? What a woulda, coulda, shoulda is going to haunt her like a demon from hell.
It is going to be difficult. And obviously, when situations like this come up where people are trying to get her to testify, it's just going to prolong that. And I agree with everybody on this panel that it is difficult for me to see how this is going to help the defense. Because it's not just the fact, I've got 2 girls in college, so it is very close to me. But to think about somebody going through that, an innocent college student, and then experiencing that, losing her friends, hearing all of that, seeing all of that, and now asking her to testify, and the defense calling her, it's kind of hard to get your head around.
When you said you had 2 children, and Cheryl said about her children, I want to just pause just briefly and thank everyone that commented and prayed for my son, who had a horrible blow to the head at school, at track practice. It was an accident, and he has been suffering from a level 3 concussion. And I've been really overwhelmed by all the love and the prayers that have poured out from all of you. And I just want to say thank you. And I'm thinking about this girl's parents.
Are you kidding, Nancy? That was so sad. I didn't know that her son had what did she say, a stage 3 concussion? My Lord. I hope he's okay. I've never seen her get so emotional. When she talks about her baby, she always wants to, she tears up every time she talks about her baby, so, wow.
And the thought, my dad and mom drove me to Keith's murder trial an hour and a half every morning of the trial and drove me home. And I wonder what they were going through as I sat in the back seat and cried. This stunt, Caitlin Becker, joining me, senior reporter at dailymail.com, is so twisted and cruel. But the defense may believe they've got a leg to stand on. Take a listen to our cut 379, our friends at GMA.
It seems as though the defense believes that she has information that would directly contradict his being the person who they believe at the scene of the crime.
The defense saying their criminal investigator believes the survivor told police things she heard and things she saw and could offer details that cannot be provided by any other witness.
She might have information that, as to what the person looked like. It might be height. It could be any information that would take him out of the prime line as a suspect.
And that right there, Dale Carson, is a legal problem for the defense. She might have information. When you out-of-state subpoena someone back to the scene of the crime, to that jurisdiction, it's because that witness has vital and material information, not because they might. She may, she might, maybe. No, that is the legal threshold, and certainly not for a preliminary hearing.
The Nevada court is going to hear precisely, and it's not subject to the gag order. They're going to hear precisely what it is that they think she can provide. It may be simply a timeline issue, or her remembrance contrasts some way with the other survivors' remembrance of what happened. But ultimately, we're going to find out whether or not there's teeth to the allegation that there's something exculpatory. And what exculpatory means is that he's not the suspect and the actual committer of the crime. And that's not supported by any of the extrinsic evidence that we're aware of today.
Caitlin Becker with me. Who's that?
Cheryl.
Jump in.
This stunt has now turned into a joke. The fact that you think that child has got such a hell of a testimony that she's going to be able to undo that he had a victim's ID in his possession, that he's got DNA on the knife, the sheath of the knife, all the cell phone pings, that his freaking car's on video. Well, honey, Miss Funk, that must be some unbelievable testimony. And let me just say this. I do not care what they think that child could possibly say to undo this. In the beginning, she had no idea what she was seeing or hearing, even if she described a man that turned out to be the DoorDash driver. This is a joke.
Well, again, that was Dylan Mortensen, not Bethany Funke, who they're trying to subpoena. But
we don't know what she said.
Exactly.
Right.
We don't know because it's sealed. And a preliminary hearing is just a bare bones hearing to find out if there's enough evidence for it to go to trial. It's a safety precaution buffer for the defense. Caitlin Becker, very quickly, is it true that the surviving victims got tattoos in honor of the murdered victims?
They did, Nancy. They both got matching tattoos of angel wings, which are the same tattoo that one of the victims, Maddie Mogan, had on her arm. They got the same angel wings, and in between them, the initials of all 4 victims.
Well, I predict this legal stunt is going to backfire. We wait as justice unfolds. Goodbye, friend.
Okay, I think Nancy stopped doing that. I was like trying to get her to stop, to not go in, not go any further. Let me see here. I do have another document to show you guys. Sorry, I need to grab my drink really quick. I was trying to read the chat a little bit. Let's see. So do you think that okay, so the stuff that's going on with Bethany, what do you think she could know? And then also, do you believe that the Brady Giglio that came out is connected to this in any way? And if you do think it is, then, how do you guys think it's connected? Because they're supposed to be doing some sort of internal affairs investigation. Do you think that could be connected to Bethany? I mean, I don't know if she could be connected to an officer. That could be why the Brady Gigolo's in place, and that's why that's why the defense wants to talk to her all of a sudden. But I mean, I'm just throwing that out there. I'm not trying to start any conspiracies. But I mean, I've just been trying to think of what it could be. But even if it's that, I don't see that being a big. I can turn my camera on here. I don't see that being like a big problem. Let me grab my lip gloss. Yeah, no. What happened? What I miss? Yeah, everyone can have their opinion. Oh, Scooby-Doo. Okay, you said one of the first cops got some trouble before with a different case, and so his testimony is limited at trial. Okay. Wow. Okay. I think that I was going to show you this new document. So this just came out after after Nancy Grace. It was like crazy. I was on Twitter tweeting away, tweet. Don't forget to follow me over there, TitaniumBuilt. I do tweet a lot, and I'll retweet things pretty quickly. So if you want to get some, if you need to get anything, just let me know. Like if you can go over to Twitter and add me over there. Let me see. There was something else I wanted to tell you guys before I got to. I thought. Okay. So these are going to be the new documents that came out today. They came out actually this evening, this evening. I'm going to go over those with you now. They're pertaining to Bethany having to go to the preliminary hearing in Idaho on June 28th to testify. So with them having her going to testify on June 28th, I wonder what they had planned for the first 2 days of trial. That means that I feel like they're so planned, the defense. I'm giving the defense this one. I feel like they're so planned out with something that they had her coming on that particular day. They didn't have her coming the first day to get it over with. They have a system going, I feel like. Yeah, me too, Tony. Maybe she could be connected to someone. I don't believe, no, the naked guy story. No, we went over that in the beginning of the chat. Or you were in the beginning, yeah. And we definitely don't agree. So this is basically the new documents, like I said, that came out. I'm going to turn my camera off since I'll be reading to you guys. And sometimes I need to read a little closer to the screen because the microphone's in my way. So it looks like with these documents, it looks like she won't have to go to the preliminary hearing now. And that her lawyers are going to have a meeting to discuss what she knows and when she would need to testify, if she would, in fact, need to testify, if she has any information. So it just says the state of Idaho versus Bryan Kohberger, stipulation and request for order. It says, now comes Kelly Ann Villera, I don't know how to say that, on behalf of Bethany Grace Funke and Evelyn Korsnick, interim Washoe County public defender on behalf of defendant Bryan C. Kohberger, and jointly stipulate that the subpoena issued April 11, 2023, commanding Bethany Grace Funke to appear before the Second Judicial Court of the State of Idaho, County of Latah, Moscow, Idaho, on June 28, 2023, shall be withdrawn and or squashed, and that Bethany Grace Funke should be released from the subpoena. So the subpoena is squashed, no more. The basis for the stipulation is that Bethany Grace Funke, through her attorney, has agreed to an interview with Idaho Defense Counsel in Reno, Nevada, in lieu of proceeding forward with the subpoena for preliminary hearing now set June 26th through June 30th, 2023, pursuant to, and then has the undersigned does not hereby affirm, or does, I'm sorry, the undersigned does hereby affirm that the preceding documents does not contain the social security number of any person. So, and then there just has their signatures. So it looks like she's going to meet them. They're going to have a meeting in Reno, Nevada. They're going to talk just have like a little intro view and see what she has to say. And I can't imagine what she has to say. I mean, I'm curious to know, just like everyone else is. I just hope I hope she's okay. I hope her mental health doesn't really suffer from this. I hope that she has a really good, strong, like family unit, friends, you know, that kind of stuff, because this is going to be really hard. I just couldn't imagine. I've done like victims impact statements before, and I was like, you know, how to do that kind of thing, and I couldn't imagine being her. I mean, 21 years old and having to go through all this. This is her whole life. This chat is goofy tonight. He is accepting money at the jail, but Brian's girls kicked me out of their subreddit and they haven't let me back in yet. Ooh, maybe Summer. Yeah. Oh gosh, Eddie, I write Lori. Renee, I don't get that. What's peanuts? I don't get your comment. I beg to differ. TNT and the home teamers. I don't know what a home teamer is. I guess that's her, what she calls her subscribers, I guess. Or just that family. She's actually lives in Ohio now. So she's an Ohioan. Is she really from Pittsburgh? You fucking with me? I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from the better city. That makes me laugh. Sorry, no offense if you're from Pittsburgh. But Philly. Sorry. That's where I'm from, you know. That's where I'm from. I don't play. When it comes to my home state, my home city. Actually, Allentown, where you would fly into if you're going to go visit Kohberger, that's where my dad is from. Like where the news station was last night, when we were I think it was last night when we did the live on Idaho. Was that last night or the night before? Oh man, y'all, I'm like, that was last night because I did a live this morning. That's why I'm like, when was that? But yeah, wasn't it yesterday? Or it was the day before. Wow, it was a couple of days ago since we did one. What does I just come? What? Whose house, huh? I want to know. Hey, Ashley, by the way. She is probably terrified of public backlash. I would be. Oh, my Lord, Faithful. I've said this before on my channel. It's embarrassing to say it, but it's like I told my boyfriend, if I were ever to, like, I don't even want to put him on camera or anything. Like, I'll put like pictures of us up like in a members only or something, you know, whatever. But if something were to happen to me, like let's just say, like heaven forbid I got murdered or something, you know what I mean? I could just see like the next day somebody up at his mom's porch, like on her porch, just like saying, "How do you know Tanya?" Blah blah blah. Because like my parents aren't here, so where are they going to go? You know, other than like his parents. And like his mom's just like this little lady that doesn't talk to him. She's just like this little, like, I don't know, cute woman. I would never want that for her. I think of those things. You know, I think of weird shit. My mind goes. It's the ADHD in me. So I think of things like that. And I'm like, just pretend like you don't know me if I'm ever murdered. Just pretend like you've never heard of me. Drop everything you know about me. Just run home and try not to let them chase you down. Because YouTube streets are legit. Like the news channels ain't got shit on the YouTube streets. Like I've only been doing YouTube true crime since August, September. And it's like, wowza. Oh gosh, yes, they were. They were so, oh my gosh, it was so bad. That's what I think of. I think of stuff like that, Scooby-Doo. I think of like just people surrounding the houses and just, you know, you're uprooting people's lives. But I do want to thank everybody for the super chats tonight and everyone for coming. You guys are awesome. I love y'all so much. I'm just trying to go back up in the chat, see if I missed anything. I'm surprised Betty's not parked outside. She probably hasn't found out where they live. Or maybe she doesn't have the support from her subscribers right now to go. I don't know. Did anybody want to, yeah, I was saying, does anyone want to come up? I was going to actually jump off here soon, but if someone wants to come up, I can open up the panel. Or we could do open panel tomorrow. My watch died. I was like, what the heck? I got to get my move stuff in, guys. I was working out and then I took a couple weeks off and now I've been working out again because they started filling up the pool for summer and my body's not ready, guys. I've never like really had this problem other than the last like 6-7 years of my life, maybe 8, ever since my car accident actually. Shit slowed my metabolism down or something. I'm just reading your guys' chat or your guys' stuff. Nate Eaton's update on the Vallow case? No, I didn't. But I haven't been watching Vallow that much. There's so many twists and turns. I'm going to be so lost. I'm like 4 days behind. I'm going to be so lost. I'll probably need like 4 days to catch up and then I'll be 4 more days behind. Someone may have to give me the rundown. Because Letitia Stauch's trial is going on right now and it's like, you can see Letitia Stauch, so it's kind of like, you're just like, I'm just watching it. And then I come on live 8 o'clock right after. So 8 o'clock my time, the trial stops 7 o'clock my time. So I literally only have an hour to get ready for like my lives at night. Other than when I watch Letitia's trial and I take notes. So that's what I do all day, is watch Letitia Stauch's trial. And I hope I don't ever hear her voice again after this trial's over with. I think we'd all be doing fabulous if that was the case. Oh, also, I forgot to show you. I moved my candle closer. So you guys can see these. And they're just like, they say like the candle on them, the boutique name. And like you can see that it's not even down that much. I don't want to like spill it on my yeah, it's not down hardly at all. I'm gonna blow it out for now. Maybe it'll cool and I can show you guys or something. Maybe I can take the ribbon off. I don't want to spill the wax everywhere, y'all. And then once it like, it's like, oh wait, you can't really see it from back there, sorry. But it's like not that much at all. I'm telling you, they are 100 hours of burn time and it's the full 100 hours. Bath and Body Works candles, just let y'all know, a little tidbit. They're only 35 to 45 hours, no matter the size, if you get the large or the small. So, their candles are $24.99 or something like that. My candles are $20, plus you get 20% off. So just letting y'all know, you know what I mean? Just being a seller, just selling. Somebody bought a dress the other day, and if you're in the chat, I just want to thank you so much for doing that. That was so sweet. And I loved, like, I haven't really been pushing my boutique, so it was nice just to get like back in the hang of things, But I couldn't find the tape anywhere because Vincent had borrowed it, my packing tape. And I'm looking everywhere under the sun for it in the house. I'm like, where could it be? Because everything has a spot here. And I found it today underneath the sink. I didn't know that's where we kept the packing tape, but I was like, okay. Are you guys arguing in the chat box? I'm not even know what's going on. Oh gosh, you guys are all arguing. You guys be good. You make candles as a hobby? These scents are delish. I bought these through a vendor, so I don't make these. But they are all hand poured. It's a woman-owned business too. It's women-owned. But they hand pour these and they're all soy. So when I started working at a boutique, I realized that there's soy candles and then there's like wax candles, and soy tends to last a lot longer. So when I got these candles in, when I first got them in, Vincent was like all about burning one. Actually, he burnt like 5 because he was doing experiments. He wanted to see if it was really over 100 hours of burn time. And it was. He had like a Bath and Body Works candle going with that, like this candle, and it was cute. So what was you guys quoting? I know. How dare you, Vincent? It was when she used the B word. She said he hated bows and I'll help me you use the B word. Yeah, they wouldn't let me join Brian's Girls, Olivia. I just checked earlier. They didn't add me back. Assholes. I really thought. Yeah, I don't even know what they say over there anymore, Catherine. I get on there sometimes to look, just to see. I'm all over YouTube streets. Like, I will, whatever comes up on my For You page, I'll check it out, you know. For the most part, I can listen to people, but there are some people that I just cannot, I just can't. I don't know. It's just me. It's just me. My opinion. There's just, you know, maybe I'll have to make a second channel to say stuff on that channel, you know, because it would be kind of a funny thing to be able to do, like, you know, say things. But I usually, and Tony, she ignores people. I usually kill people with kindness. That's what I used to do. And it gets people so upset when you're just nice to them. What's going on with Target? Oh, Bed Bath & Beyond, yeah. They are going out of business. I know. I saw that. And I've been telling Vincent we need to go. And you reminded me. So let me... Bed, Bath. And you're like, she knew what that was. BB&B. No, they are. They're having so many good sales right now, I bet. Everybody. Bed Bath & Beyond, the huge company, like, you know, they sell all the cool stuff, like for your house. They're going out of business. The whole company is. So they're going to be having some mad deals. You know, when you come onto my channel, you know about the sales. You get to know about the Target sales and the Bed Bath & Beyond sales, the Poppy and Ari sales, you know, all of them. Y'all are nutsos. Whoever comes in here and reads this chat, they're just going to be like, oh my Lord. Their store layout is annoying. Yeah, it isn't very good. It's very packed and very, very weird. But I do want to go to Bed Bath & Beyond now. Wish it wasn't so late. It's only 10 o'clock though. You know what? Let me see something actually. Really quick before I get off here. I bet Ashley Banfield's talking about the guy running naked out of the house right now. Let's see. Let's see if I was right, because I said she'd probably run with it. I'm on my TV, on the computer. Banfield. What you got going on? Yep, she's talking about something. Let me see. Why can't I hear?
And he thought, that's not something I want to do, nor do I legally think I have to. And now, we have some news.
Uh-oh.
We have some news.
She's not gonna. She's just not. It's just, that's it. She's not going to the preliminary. She is not going to sit in that witness box and testify on behalf of the defendant. On behalf
Ashley,
of
mad.
Kohberger. Not doing it. Subpoena quashed.
Damn.
Here's the rub. She had to make a deal. So she does have to do something. And she's not going to like that something. I'm going to tell you about that in a little bit. And then speaking of Bethany, the Facebook, welcome, by the way, to the Facebook group that is watching us tonight, the University of Idaho Case Discussion Group, University of Idaho Murders Case Discussion Group. It's a mouthful. But you guys are great. I'm in there all the time watching what you're talking about. And your administrators are angels. And I will say that because they are having to go through a lot of stuff that maybe some other people who are not so welcome have been saying about the 2 girls who survived that horror. Bethany Funke and Dylan Mortensen, there have been some unrelenting bullies all over the place, like all over the internet. I don't know who they are. I don't know why they get off on this stuff. Why they get off on going after victims who have been brought to the lowest low of their entire lives, right? But they do. They just seem to enjoy it. And these administrators are having none of it. I'll tell you what they're doing. They're going to join me live on the show tonight. Big discussion about what they are doing to combat the bullies who are going after victims. Thank you, girls. I'm so glad you're here. And then if you live in Mississippi, and even if you don't, live in Texas or any of the states in between, and there's a bunch of you, you're being told to lock your doors. And like wide swath, millions and millions of people are being told, lock your doors.
And watch out, because they're
Okay. She's pissed. She was on one, wasn't she? I bet those Facebook women are those two women that were on before that didn't know shit about shit. Like I think those are the two women. There was two women that went on Banfield before. I forget what they said. We talked about it on a live. You know, I really need to go back through my lives. I've never watched myself on live, which I don't want to, but that's what we should know. We should do that one night. Like, we'll just cut through like us talking or something. Maybe we'll do that, like go back through like the original lives and see what we were talking about then. I wonder what we were talking about like in the beginning. Like, I wonder what our chat looked like. Do you know what I mean? Because I always have it on like the live replay. I wonder what that looks like. I may have to do that and just see like, I mean, where our heads were at. We've always kept a pretty clear head, I feel like, in our chat, like, you know, but I don't know. So I just want to thank everyone for being here. I don't know. She didn't talk about the naked guy, but I'm sure she'll probably bring it up. If not, that would be amazing. Cause you know, she'd be trying to get some news any way she can. And I thought that everybody for some reason, I thought everybody at News Nation wore certain colors. I don't know why. That's why I thought Banfield wore cream, but I noticed that other people are changing their colors and she hasn't. So now I'm like, what is up with that? I wonder if it means something to her. It has to. I wonder if her mom, I don't know, her mom liked cream or something. Maybe her mom passed, I don't know. There is something with that. Naked guy in the middle of November. Yes, Rich, good point. And it was freezing that night. Hold up a sec. It was like 28 or no, it was lower than that, I think even. I forget. The temperature was cold. Yeah. I don't think yeah. Does Banfield ever change her shirt? I didn't see her come. She doesn't. But she always has the cutest sparkly earrings. If you notice, her ears are always sparkling. They're always on point. I like when she pulls her hair like back. It looks so pretty, I think, like that. So you go back and forth about BK, yeah. I feel like if he didn't do this, he would have said he didn't do it when he got arrested. I think he would still be saying it. I think that, I mean, it's for murders. It's mass murder. Death penalty on the table. For you to just sit there and be quiet, that would take some skill that I don't experience that. Nothing that I could do. I mean, he is doing the right thing if you think about it. I mean, defense attorneys tell their clients to shut up and not say anything. So technically he's doing the right thing, what he should be doing. But they haven't arrested anybody else. They haven't looked at anybody else. There's no other evidence there to insinuate that anyone else did this. That's what I just can't get over. When I look at the totality, I'm just like, well, then who else could it be? It's not Chief Fry. We don't need to watch 14 body cams of college kids drinking, and it has nothing to do with Idaho to figure that out. We don't need to have a spirit box meeting, or I don't need to get out the tarot cards to tell you that I think Bryan Kohberger is guilty of this. That's in my opinion. My opinion. Because I don't see anybody else that could have done it. I think that if they thought someone else could have done it, or if he had a partner, that person would have been picked up by now. I don't know. It's just weird. I guess we'll find out soon. And I'm assuming if these attorneys, they were wanting Bethany to be, to come to Idaho. No ifs, ands, or buts, you're coming up here, you're testifying. If whatever her attorneys and the defense attorneys, whatever they talked about or whoever talked, apparently it worked to where she probably doesn't have any that much evidence that couldn't wait until court. Until trial. Because this is just preliminary hearing. This is just them giving a little bit of evidence just to get get the indictment, get him to say just get him to plead, he's going to plead guilty, not guilty. And here's a little bit of evidence. This isn't like a jury trial. There's not going to be a jury there. This is just the beginnings. So, beginnings. So we're going to be here for a while. And I looked at that Streamlabs, the other streaming service, so we could zoom in and stuff. It looks so damn confusing, y'all. I'll be all over the place. I don't know if I could do that. So we'll figure it out. Because I want to be able to, if they have a dumb camera angle, to, have a better angle. But either way, it'll be great. Dude talking to a spirit box for 2 hours, and another analyzing 3 hours of noise complaints. Yep. Scooby-Doo nailed it. Comment of the night. Yep. When I see things like that, I can't even believe my own damn eyes, because these people have 20, 30, 40, 50,000 subscribers. And I'm like, for real? Spirit box. I can't even, that, I think he said he's here. I can't get down with that. I have a big problem with it, actually. I have a huge problem. I'm sorry about that. I try to keep my mouth shut, but I have a really big problem. I can't help it. If these are dead people, these are dead college kids that were beginning their fucking lives, and you want to get on a live YouTube stream with a damn spirit box saying, I think Ethan said he's here. I think he said he's on the mattress. I think that I have a big problem with that. I have big problems, so I just leave it at that. And I'll tell the creator that. I will tell if I will say it on this camera, I would say it to that person's face. I'm not that kind of person to hide. T-Rev, he speaks to the camp. I'll tell you, Spirit Box, T-Rev, he has a second channel. I'll admit it. I'll say it. I didn't take my anxiety medication today, so I'll say it all today. That's probably why I'm rocking in the chair. Sorry if I'm making everybody seasick, but I'm rocking tonight. I'm rocking. So I can't get down with that. I can't. If you all, right? Give me your answer to this. I have 97 people in here, and I need you all to give me your answer on this. If I came on a live and was dead serious and had some tarot cards and said I was going to do a tarot reading on Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee, what would you all do in my chat? And I hope you all would leave and be like, or say, Tanya, what's wrong with you? Because I think you guys would say, Tanya, what's wrong with you? Isabel would probably be like, what are you doing, Tanya? Everyone would probably laugh because they would think I was just joking. You guys would think I was just joking. But that's just that's a nonsense. You can't do that. That's makes me want to cry. That's just that makes me want, it really does. It's you're doing that for, okay. And I told Vincent this, and I told Summer this, I think too. You're either two things when you do that. And this is me looking dead in the camera. I don't know if I have one eye, so this is me looking dead in the camera. You're either two things when you do spirit box sessions on the dead. On YouTube or anywhere for this matter. You're either an idiot because you don't know what you're doing. You're either an idiot or you're doing it for clicks and views, so you're a dick. Which I don't know which one it is. Idiot or you're a dick. I don't know. One or the other. Yeah, dead serious. When I saw it, I was like, what? I was I wrote Summer actually, because I was like, because I really don't like to talk about other people. I really don't. So I had to like get it out though. No, I have tarot cards for Paulina. I have some actually. So, but I'm just saying, like, when you do it on the dead, though, that's just a different thing. Like, if you're doing it on, like, your mother, or your father, you want to know the answer or something like that, like, of course. But if you're getting on YouTube and you're just saying that these cards are telling, no, I can't get down with that. The psychics, when I first came in, okay, so when I first came into true crime, you know, I didn't know about YouTube that much at all. I didn't. So, I would just like on my For You page, I had a lot of like crazy stuff at first, you know, because you just get like everything. And it would be like psychics. And it was during the Kylie Rodney case. And I still am. I was extremely passionate about that case. And I still am passionate about that case. And this psychic lady was saying that she was found, she was dead and she was in a parking garage and this, that, and the other. I mean, it was just way out of left field. And I'm just like, you know, every time I go back to their videos, they're wrong. Every time. So I've never seen Donna. I've never even got on her page. Just because, like, I'm not... I love psychic stuff. Like, I would love for someone to do, like, a reading on me or something. Like, that'd be cool as hell. I love that. But I'm just not into, like, you know, like that. I love, like, I think that, you know, tarot cards and, like, psychics and stuff, they're fun because they make you... Usually they make you hopeful. That's their thing they do. Like, you know, they read you something... Oh, you're going to do, you know. Me too, Isabel. Isabel wants to know where her parents stashed their most. Me too. I've actually said that. I've actually said that before. Where the hell's my money? See, Scooby-Doo believes in UFOs. I'll have to look at Donna because I hear you talk about her. I think it's really fun too. I really do. I really do. Like my friend actually did a tarot reading on me. And one night, Vincent, we went to one of my best friend's house, and her name's Victoria, and she's very into like stones and tarot and sage and all this stuff. And she makes weed, like edibles. So she makes like edible food, but you don't know, like, so we didn't know that it was edibles when she was like, try this. And so Vincent tried these crackers, and we thought they were like Toll House Town, like home crackers, because you couldn't taste it, you couldn't smell it. So Vincent end up in the living room, and he's like stoned. He's in the living room, and my friend did a tarot reading on me. And when she did the tarot card reading, he ended up hearing it ass backwards, and the whole next day he thought I was going to break up with him. For one whole day, he was like really weird. I was like, what's going on with him? He's so weird today. And it was because he thought I was going to break up with him over a tarot card reading. And I was like, no, that's not what that said. It actually said the opposite. It was like everything that it was like led me back to him being, Vincent being like my stone, my rock, my person. And that reading, I had that reading actually done 4 years ago. So look, and he is my person. Look at my studio. Yes, exactly. There's some people that come in and they'll argue, and then some people come in and they're cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like Oompa. That, I mean, like trolling all night. But then as soon as he said, like, how do I get out of here? It just broke the ice, and then he ended up staying in the chat. Or, you know, or like there's just people like, I forget, there was someone in here, and when I see the name, I'll remember it. But it was, I think it was a girl. We were going back and forth. We couldn't agree, but it was very, like behaved, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like we weren't fighting. And they stayed in here the whole time. I'll have to check out that psychic lady. Yeah. Not all psychics are bad. I think they're fun. I mean, I would love to go to one. I actually think I have some minutes for a psychic. Donna's pretty cool. Oh, okay, I have to check her out, Catherine. I have to check her out, yeah. I mean, because if she's on point, I mean, I'll be freaking out, though. I'll be doing reaction videos. I'll be doing reaction videos to Donna, because if people are right, I can't, no, If it's like something like that, I'd be crazy. Oh, that's okay. I'll put the link in the chat in case you want to, Elisa. I was gonna say, you're usually green. I know I'm gonna get off here too. I stayed on a little later than I thought, but I love talking to you guys. It's my favorite thing to do. If you guys want to check out this morning's live, we did a live this morning. I got on here at 9:30, pretty bright and early. We talked about Gannon Stalk, and we just did. It's called Body Bags by Joseph Scott Morgan. He's the guy that does a lot of stuff with Nancy Grace. It was a video of his. We went over. It was just like a little compilation, like a little timeline. So you're from Cali, but you behave yourself. My boyfriend's from Cali. He's from LA. He stayed in Ohio because of me. That's crazy. Okay, well, I love you guys. I hope you guys have a good night. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about people. But I said what I said, and I don't know how to clip stuff, so it's not getting clipped. But I hope you guys have a good night. Don't listen to any spirit boxes unless they're from Scorpolina. No, just don't listen to any at all because that stuff is annoying. Oh my God, it hurt my ears. It just hurt my ears. And just take care of yourself tonight. Summer, are you going? When do you leave? Actually, when do you leave so I know? Are you leaving me tomorrow? She's going somewhere. We were a rowdy chat tonight. Oh, you are from California. I remember. Lisa? Nice heart. It's okay, Summer. I don't think I can crop out those comments. That's okay, though. We need a night bot in here tonight. Tomorrow? Okay. Well, have a good time. If you're not on, I'm not like, have fun. Have fun. Get me some free hair care stuff. I know y'all be getting some free stuff when you go to those beauty shows. My sister-in-law goes, and that's probably where my Christmas presents come from every year, because they're like odds and ends every time she gets me something. But I'll look at my email, and I love you guys. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a good evening, and man, tonight was fun. Bye, guys.